Colorful trees. For this project, you'll need a big white paper, the watercolors in primary colors, so red, yellow, blue. You'll need a paintbrush, a mixing tray, and a little cup of water. So first we're going to take the little cup of water and we're going to put our paintbrush in it and get some water on our brush. And we're just going to add some water to each of the little paint palettes. So just adding water, I'm not even mixing yet, just adding some water to get them kind of wet and prepared. Now I'm going to take the red and I'm going to actually mix that water in now so that my brush will be full of red paint. And basically I'm going to make just a blob, an area of red paint, because I'm going to be making this later into a tree, and I just want this to look like where all the leaves would be for this tree. Each one of these will be a different color, and I'm going to start by putting the red to the left. I'm going to put the yellow in the center, and so I'm going to get some yellow on my brush and I'm going to put that in the center. Now when I made this video, I kind of had to hold the tray just so that you could see what I was doing, but your tray will just stay on the table. So right now I have my red on there, I have my yellow, and now I'm going to do the other primary color, which is blue. So I'm going to just leave a little bit of space, and then I'm going to put like a big blue blob. Okay, so now I'm going to start mixing some of the primary colors to make secondary colors. So I'm going to get a lot of water on my brush, and I'm going to start by adding a lot of yellow to this little mixing tray. So it's basically like I'm making a big yellow puddle, and then I'll get some more water on my brush, and I'm just going to do one little dab of red. It does not take very much red in order to make the orange, but you do need a lot of yellow. Once I have the color orange that I'm happy with, then I'm going to put that between the red and the yellow, because those were the two colors that I mixed together in order to make the orange. Okay, now I'm going to add together the yellow and the blue. So once again, I need a lot of yellow in order to make this work. Since yellow is the lighter color, it's always good for me to start with that color also. That way the other colors don't get mixed into the yellow. If that happens for you, you can always get the yellow really wet and take a paper towel and kind of dab it out. Just a dab of blue, and look there, I'm going to have green. If I want to, I can add just a little bit more blue until I get the correct shade or tint that I want. So once again, I'm putting this in between the yellow and the blue because those are the two colors that I mixed together in order to make the green. Okay, now I'm going to mix together red and blue. So since these are on the two ends, that's okay. I'm going to put a little bit of red into my mixing tray. So I'm going to keep adding a little bit of water to that. You don't want your watercolor to be gooey. That means you don't have enough water. So keep adding water so that you can make a nice little puddle, and then add a little bit of blue. See what kind of purple it makes. If you want to add more blue, you can, or if you need to add more red, you can. This is the trickiest of the colors to mix. So I'm going to add a purple on the right-hand side, and then on the color wheel, of course, it would be a full circle, and so I'm going to actually add a little bit of purple onto the left-hand side in just a second. If you don't have room for it on one side or the other, that's fine. I just happen to have room on both sides. You should have a purple blob on your paper though, okay? Now a few of my blobs got mixed up because my water cup got a little too close, so I'm going to go back and do a little touch up to some of those to make them look a little bit better tree forms. You can see my yellow got a little bit mixed up, and I'll just fix up a couple things. So that's the cool thing. Since I still have my colors mixed on my color palette, I can still kind of do a little bit of fixing. Okay, so this is what it will look like when you're done, and we'll put it on the drying rack to dry. If you're at school, you'll need to take all of this over to the disinfecting counter. Okay, when it's all dry, you're going to take some Sharpie markers and you're going to make them look like trees. Now, my trees might look totally different from yours. Mine maybe have these thin, skinny trunks. Yours might have ginormous trunks. It's all good. Trees come in all different sizes and shapes, and you might do your branches differently than mine, but I'm just going to show you my example of how I make trees. But everybody makes them a little differently, so it's all acceptable. Okay, after I took the thick Sharpie marker, I came back and just added in some little details with the ultra fine Sharpie marker. You know, you can do this if you want to, or if you want to just leave yours the other way, you can do that also. This is just an artistic choice. Now, we don't want our trees to look like they're floating in the air, so we're going to make some ground behind this. So you'll make a line, you'll skip over a trunk, and then you'll make some more of a line. Now, I decided to make mine kind of look like real nature, like with little hills or little bumps in it, and part of it going up and part of it going down at a slope. So just think about when you are outside in nature, what does it really look like? I decided to add little bits of what looks like grass, or I add like a tree trunk that's been cut down a little bit later, and then I add some rocks. So just add some cool details. At the end, be sure to sign your name like you're a famous artist. And there you have it, your final colorful trees. Now make your colorful trees.